I was really pleased with how well Writing and Selling Thriller Screenplays was received, because obviously I'd never written a non-fiction book before, or even a book in English before, so I hoped that it would do okay, and to my amazement it did really, really well. I was really, really pleased, especially in the first month. It became a bestseller. It came out in the September, and I was at London Screenwriters Festival in the October that year, which is 2013, and my publisher happened to be there, and she said that they were so pleased with the way it had gone, would I like to write a new one, which was the one on writing and selling drama screenplays. So of course I said yes. I'd already had a book that had sold in Germany called The Decision Lizzie's Story. In German is called Bausch und Scheidung. I probably said that completely incorrectly, which means gut decision. And it's very much a kind of, I suppose, a sliding doors type story. It's about a girl who finds out that she's pregnant when she's a teenager, and she's confronted with all the possible scenarios. Had sold in Germany, and done very well in Germany. They even had it on the school curriculum, which is great. My first crime novel is the one that is out this year. It's called The Other Twin. In my book, I have a young woman called Poppy. She has a younger sister, India, who's 6 or 7 years much younger than her. They are estranged. They haven't spoken properly for some time, and then suddenly her sister dies. Apparently she has committed suicide, but she has left behind a blog, and on the blog are a number of entries that read quite strangely, they read like they could be poems, but Poppy kind of goes, no, there's something real here. It's like, with the gingerbread house, with the breadcrumbs, the gingerbread house, she says, no, these are clues, and everybody that she talks about in these blog entries could have a reason for murdering her sister. So she's got to figure out who these people are on this blog, and actually work out the mystery. It's set in Brighton, in the LGBT community, and there's a young woman who helps Poppy, who's she's very mercurial, she's very secretive, she's very mysterious, and she knew India, and they were very, very close. They weren't girlfriends, but they were very, very close. And it's kind of like Chinatown in that regard. We've got this very mysterious, almost femme fatale young lady who wants to help Poppy, but something's holding her back, but we don't know what that is. And it's because of a number of different things to do with that character that Poppy is kind of pulled into this mystery and finds out what really happened to India. Twisted is a great project because it's part of the Create 50 project, which was basically a crowd-funded, crowd-sourced book and movie, because there's another one for the Impact 50 as well, which is a different project. But Twisted 50 was basically a website or a forum where writers all get together and they write horror stories and give one another feedback on those horror stories and develop those horror stories, and then they had a bunch of readers come in and choose 50 for the finished book. And actually there were so many on the forum that they ended up having two books. They had Twisted 50, the main book, and then they had Twisted Evil Little Sister, with some other ones. They are pretty nasty, pretty creepy, pretty twisted stories, basically. They're, some of them are really, oh my god, they're so grim. I entered a story because I had a story that I'd written years earlier, called The Life and Death of Elsie Buckle, and I thought, I'll just put it on the website. It was like 500 words long, and I just stuck it on there, and I thought it would just be a bit of fun, really, and then I started to get feedback from other users on the site, and so many of them gave me loads of really great ideas. I ended up extending it into a 2,000 worder, and I ended up, you know, there was a new character in there was some new kind of backstory to it. It ended up with a new title, The Retribution of Elsie Buckle, instead. It's about a woman who hates men. She really, really hates men. She's a real misandrist, and she murders men, and she gets her daughters, who she names after feminist icons, to be murderers as well. So I kind of took the whole kind of feminist man-hating thing and then just took it to the max, you know, just for fun, basically. And most people could see it for what it was, which is just a bit of fun. It's just nonsense, and it's creepy and gross. I'm writing a new novel, because I was contracted to write a second novel as well as the other twin. So yeah, I'm having to I've written the first draft of that, and I'm looking at what's good about it, what's not good about it, doing my whole kind of script reading thing on it to try and work out what's worth keeping and what's not worth keeping. I've got a second book out this year in September. It's another non-fiction book. It's a book on writing diverse characters, and I'm just going through the proofs of those at the moment. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how that will work out, because Creative Essentials did a really great job on my last two non-fiction books. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with this one. No, I don't write every day. I tend to write, I binge write. I've always binge wrote, if even a phrase. I tend to get really, really infused on something, and I just write loads and loads and loads and loads, and then I just leave it and come back to it later. I think my biggest kind of tip for anyone is just, you've got to work out what time management means to you, and what you can get done in what amount of time. So you've got to have a strategy. I'm always banging on about strategy, and that's the real key, because most people, they have a vague idea of what they want to do, or they might even have a strong idea of what they want to do, but they don't know when they want to do it by, and what it needs to be, you know, what they need to get it done by that time. That's what people forget. So if it's a novel that you want to write, for example, like I'm working out at the moment, how long will it take me to rewrite the next draft of my next novel, and I want to get it done by the end of June. So I've got to work out, and I am as anal as this, I've got to work out how many words per day or per week, which is what I prefer, is per week rather than per day. How many do I need to get done per week to make sure I get that draft done by the end of June? So that, you know, it's really up to you how you get it done. You've just got to work out how you're going to do it. Always work on your concepts. You know, there's more work should probably be done on your concept and on the research around it, and how it's going to work, and whether it's bomb-proof, and what the characters are, and what the conflict is in your story. Then you know, if you haven't got a great concept, you've got nothing. Be entertaining. For God's sake, be entertaining. I mean, I can't tell you how many screenplays or novels, you know, unpublished ones that I read, because I read quite a few unpublished novels these days. Read quite a lot of advanced copies as well from publishers, or review copies from self-published writers, that kind of thing, who are maybe interested in adapting their own work for the screen, for example. And I read it and I was like, it's not entertaining. And obviously, entertainment and what means entertaining is different for different people, but usually if you have a good understanding of the marketplace, you can see who it would appeal to. But very often writers will say, well, I like this, so everybody else should like this, and that is not the way it works. I think people need to understand what entertaining means. Sometimes when writers hear the word entertaining, they think stupid. It's not. Audiences are not stupid. They know what they want. They want to be entertained, and we need to give them that entertainment, whether entertainment means dinosaurs eating people or being destroyed because a relationship breaks down in a cathartic way. So